It's the granddaddy of them all. It's Oregon. It's Ohio State. It's the rematch on New Year's Day. Who's going to be the impact players when it comes to this whole deal? Who's going to decide who leaves Pasadena with the dub and whose season potentially is over after this one? We'll talk about it right now, but first things first, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. It's college football year round. If you're a college football sicko, this is your place. Glad to have y'all here. Now, this show, The Hard Count, brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks. Daily fantasy, easy to use, easy to play. Code HARDCOUNT when you play with $5 lineups. Get yourself $50 in promo funds. Doesn't have to be $5. It could be more than $5, but you hear what I'm saying? $50 in promo funds to just attack this college football playoff season with us. So, some squares we like in this one in relation to the impact players. Y'all, Tez Johnson for Oregon, I think he is the tone setter for them offensively. Now, tone setter is usually a label you would assign to a running back, or maybe you assign it to like a linebacker. But Tez Johnson, man, with how much they want to use him, they're going to force feed him the football. And what that's going to do now, especially in a lot of these quick throws, the bubbles, the right now throws, that's going to cause the Ohio State defense, in a perfect world for Oregon, to start to stretch horizontally, which then opens up the bigger plays downfield, like we saw in the game against Ohio State. So the number I would expect from him to be at PrizePicks.com, the square when it comes out, I expect it to be right around 6.5. He had 7 catches last time. 6.5 catches. He had 7 catches last time they played Ohio State. I'll take the more if it's at 6.5. If it's above that, I'll feel good about taking the less. So 6.5 catches. That's the total I feel good about for Tez Johnson. Now, Jeremiah Smith is an Avenger, essentially, for Ohio State. He's a true freshman wide receiver. He looks nothing like a true freshman. Like that dude is literally built different. Like, people say built different kind of casually. He's actually built different. His number against Tennessee over at PrizePicks.com, his receiving yard total was 71.5. I feel great taking the more there if that's what it is against Oregon. I think they're going to make him a one-on-one answer when it comes to their matchups. I think they will try to push the ball downfield. And I think when that happens, Jeremiah Smith will be a guy they try to throw the football to a lot. So, to chop it up a little bit more on this topic and to give us some feedback and his own takes on this whole thing, producer for The Hard Count, 2-time All-Sun Belt safety, and the voice winner, Season 7, Kaiden Smith.
I'm so thankful for CeeLo Green turning his chair that season and just making my dreams come true. And now we're here. That's what literally got me on The Hard Count. So happy to be here.
Glad to have you, man. So, hey, what do you think about those guys I just mentioned? Any other impact players that you would want to highlight, or maybe just unpack some more of those production projections over at PrizePicks that we think we could see?
Yeah, JD, I think those are 2 great picks. And I think when you look at how this game went last time, both quarterbacks throwing for over 300 yards, those yards have to go somewhere. And I think we could see a similar game in this one. And I think if we do see it, you're going to want to be that guy who has the PrizePicks board with just 4, 5, 6 guys, all with their green goblin square, asking them all to just do the bare minimum, participate, chip away at Dylan Gabriel's 350-yard day or Will Howard's 300-yard day. I think those 2 guys are definitely the leaders of the clubhouse, but I think they're also 2 kind of players that could attract attention and maybe get the ball to some other guys. So I think when you talk about a Jeremiah Smith, they were very intentional about trying to get him the ball early in that Tennessee game. If we see that again in this game, he might not only hit his square, but then Oregon might have to give some extra attention to him. Then Emeka Ibuka gets the ball. Then all of a sudden the running backs, maybe a Travion Henderson or a Quinshon Judkins, get the ball in the backfield. I'd really watch those 2 running backs too as well, because the last time we saw Oregon's defense play, they were very disappointing in that Big Ten championship versus the run against those 2 running backs. I think those 2 running backs, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, a lot of similar traits to the 2 guys they have there. So I would also have my eye on those 2 running backs potentially having a big day, whether it's even catching the ball out of the backfield, maybe a pass yards plus rush yards combo. I think those 2 guys could do some serious damage if that Oregon defense we saw from last time shows up here again in Pasadena.
I'm glad you said that, because the ripple effect of both these individuals for their respective offenses is massive. We mentioned Tez Johnson and them potentially pushing the ball downfield to a guy like Evan Stewart we saw have a great day the last time these 2 teams lined up. For Jeremiah Smith, like, if Oregon does sell out to stop the run and they say, hey, we don't want Judkins or Henderson having a day against us, like, Jeremiah Smith, it's hand up right here, baby. It's, hey, put it up for me. It doesn't matter who's on me. Jeremiah Smith's a 1-of-1. So I think if that happens, Ohio State gets some mojo offensively, things could get very, very tricky for the folks that traveled from Eugene to watch that Rose Bowl. So this will be a lot of fun. Kaiden Smith on the 1s and 2s for myself, JD PicKell. Hey, we appreciate y'all locking in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you use that code HARDCOUNT at PrizePicks.com. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.